Okay, hopefully we're good. YouTube's yelling at me saying, "Oh, your internet's horrible." It is horrible, but hopefully it ain't too bad. But anyways, y'all, welcome to our second preseason Thunder for the 2024 Palm Summer League. Thankfully, we didn't have to delay it this time around. But today we're here at the Talladega Super Speedway for the second year in a row for preseason Thunder. Let's first take a look at sort of the procedures for the preseason Thunder tonight. So we're gonna go. So just like before, just like all the sessions this year, the session length will be 35 minutes long. All 35 drivers will be in it, and all the paint schemes except for one driver all have their schemes painted. But there's still that one driver. I think they know who they are. Driver. The one driver who doesn't have their paint scheme quite yet. We'll have a test scheme, and you know who you are. If you don't have that, you don't have your scheme, tonight's the deadline. And also, if you're interested in becoming a Palm Summer League team owner or want to sign new drivers, if you're already an owner, today is also the last night. I'm actually going to post the form in Discord server right now because I'm not in the game. It's not going to freak out if I do it. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to post both the form and the Discord invite. Actually, no, the form has the invite in it. So yeah. Let's go to the YouTube chat. Oh, hello. I didn't mean to. I meant to just post the form. Let's do this. Okay. Come on. Is that good? Yeah. Hopefully that pulls up the Google form for the team signups and whatnot. Should probably close Discord because you don't want to have a weird Discord noise while the game's running. Anyways, continuing to what I was saying. The track we're going to use this time is the Talladega 2023 from Area 23. It's very similar to the previous Talladega we used for the Golf Summer Series, the Action Packs track 2015 version. It's very similar, both updated logos and whatnot. Of course, Talladega track length, why did I say 2.5? 2.6 miles. It is a super speedway, of course, for 33 degrees of banking, and the travel is banked 60.5 degrees. As for the weather, I really screwed up this graphic. I kind of made this in a rush, but it's not cloudy. It's going to be a clear skies with 77 degrees Fahrenheit with wind from the northwest, measuring it at 11 miles per hour. As of course, Talladega, of course, was a crown jewel track for the Golf Summer Series from 2020 to 2022, the Geico 500. And the track record for the Palm Summer League cars was with Owen Miles last preseason Thunder with a time of 47.46. So without further ado, let's get the game rolling. And yes, I did have, and yes, you saw there, I already have the race ready, all races, 2 races ready to go. So anyways, here we go. We're off and ready to go here. There's the 24 Keyshawn Richardson. First off track, and I do have, like I said, I do have the ticker right, unlike last time, and the appropriate sound pack as well. So let's see if any other drivers are coming out. 48 of Ryan Wilson. You got Patrick Miller, Daniel Voiles coming out on track as well. There's Alex Mullen. More drivers coming into our pit stalls there. Kyle Sustry in his new paint scheme. Caleb Rose, Brendan Beal, Bubble Pop in her Starbucks car. Calvin Baker in his new scheme. Jose Angel Gutierrez, there you see his new scheme. YouTube, don't give me that message again. Okay, so looks like so far the 24 is going to be the first to put up their lap time, obviously, because he was the first off the track. Now, it doesn't sound too loud now, but once these cars get into a group, it's going to sound pretty loud. It's going to be pretty loud with these cars. Switch camera angles here. It's got more drivers coming out of pit road, the 88, the 18, the 99, who was the fastest during our first preseason Thunder at Pocono. Let's see if we continue the streak here. So far, Richardson's put up the fastest lap of a minute, but obviously that's going to change as these cars take a few laps to get up to full speed at these super speedways. And of course, this is perhaps the most important test because our opening race is, of course, at a super speedway, the Tennessee Super Speedway. And I imagine a lot of these drivers are going to use these exact same cars for that opening race, and a lot of data as well. So this is going to be a very important test to see who's going to be the fastest, who's going to be the best drivers to work with in a few weeks in Tennessee, and who's going to be the best drafting partners and also who's going to be the best drafting partners for these drivers. It's not necessarily, the best drafting partners don't necessarily have to be their teammates. It could be someone from another manufacturer or just anyone in general that can push really well. Brandon Carruthers behind Matthew Hill, looking to the inside of him. And hopefully we won't have too much chaos in this test, because Pocono, we had a wreck with Carruthers and Baker. In fact, Carruthers went to a backup, but despite going to a backup, he found speed and plenty of speed in that backup. Posted a top 10 time. And of course we had Brendan Beal getting into Johnny Hernandez on pit road, and the 90 of Matthew Hill blowing an engine. Looks like Keyshawn Richardson still has the fastest time as of right now, 49.44. Just a reminder that the track record here is Owen Miles with 47.3, I should say. And here already we got a pack. That's Ross McTrain into 45 on the outside. Joe T to his inside in the 8 car. So let's try also moving to the inside, to the outside next to Calvin Baker with the 59 Cobras also in this picture as well. Patrick Miller now on top of the board. Where is the 33? There he is in this single file group. 49.276 thus far. Again, like I said, it's going to take a while for these cars to get up. I think these cars have to be up at full speed at this point, but once these drivers start to really form in these large packs, they're going to go like 195, 198 throughout this track. And we're going to see a lot of more, and we're going to see these cars only get faster as this session goes on. Hopefully it's not too laggy. My internet's not the greatest, but hopefully it's not too laggy. And already, as I say that, 3 wide into turn 1, that's Hoodlum on the inside, the 2021 Talladega run in the Golf Summer Series, forcing Nick Sant to the outside, and Alex Antivalla out of line there. And speaking of drivers in this pack, Bubble Pop, fastest driver thus far, 48.418. And now we're getting a lot of times into 48s there. Almost everyone's to the top 10 except for the 06 and the 37 all have times in the 48-second range. So let's look at some other times here. Nick Sant 11th, Random J 16th, Alex Antivalla 17th, Keyshawn Richardson down to 19th, Calvin Baker, the last card's at the top 20, Jack Koss 21st, Spurley 22nd, some of the rookies there, Ryan Wilson 23rd, Johnny Hernandez 25th, well that just changed, he's now 26th. We're currently the 2 of Matthew Burnett, that's as well as time. Jordan Stout 34th as of right now, he's been struggling to find some speed in that Pontiac throughout all of Preseason Thunder. Of course, last Preseason Thunder, his teammates of Random J. Keyshawn Richardson got times inside the top 5, while Stout was was not even close to that, to his teammates at all. Looks like the fastest time so far belongs to the 01 of Daniel Voiles in the Golf Toyota. I can find him. There he is, lead driver in this pack, 48.331. Gonna be curious when we're gonna get our first time in the 47-second range. And if these packs only getting bigger, it's gonna probably come sooner rather than later. Let's go on board with a large pack. Jordan Stout there, looking at the inside of Dylan Matthews. Not many overly large packs yet. Let's go on board with 41 of Torres. Now, I will say, for the Firecracker 400s, of course, our other super speedo race of the year, hopefully we can not do 3-wide, or 4-wide at Daytona for 4th of July. That's not in the 4th of July itineraries. My goal is to kind of limit, my goal is to hopefully touch up the I-9 on that track and kind of limit the 4-wide. Because it got absolutely ridiculous for 4-wide. Anyways, but we do got a lot of new drivers, well, not a lot of new drivers, but we got 2 drivers in this pack now. Above posting a time faster than Daniel Voyle is the 88 car of Hoodlum, the 2021 Geico 500 winner at this place in the Golf Summer Series, now the new fastest driver with a time of 48.305. Nick Sant not too far behind him, 48.319. Nick Sant has been one of the best super speeder racers as of late on this channel. Of course, won the Firecracker 400 last year, but even before that, won the final Golf Summer Series super speeder race at 8 Bowl in 2022. So Nick Sant definitely one of the favorites going into Tennessee. Okay. See if there's any more packs. Random J still all by himself in the 53. Probably has to find a pack sooner rather than later if he wants to get back into the get in the top 10 when it comes to fast times. Also, some other drivers by themselves. Carol Bros in the 59, Jason Albert in the 84. And we see Matthew Burnett, who, as I mentioned, oh, he was second slowest. He did post the slowest time, but is now second slowest time behind Lips. He was down pit road just now. Jack Haas also all by himself. We got a smaller pack here of Matthews, Gutierrez, and Stout. Also another small pack, Chase, Richardson, and Beal, the defending series champion. Lipsy now coming out on the racetrack. And here we got these 4. Ross McTrain, Joe Teese, Kyler Sustry, and Calvin Baker. As well as a bunch of Dodges and 1 Chevy of Roberto Crown. But everyone else here are Dodges. Bradley Ream, Dan Mattiello, Riley Spurley, and Nathan Stapleton. That's 3 of the 4 NS Racing drivers there. Of course, NS Racing does have a reliance with Railfan Motorsports, which the team Bradley is on and owns, which could definitely be definitely could come into play when it comes to our first race, or when it comes to both Daytona and our first race at Tennessee. To find the best drafting partners or whatnot. Ryan Wilson also all by himself in the 48 car. Is going back to this pack once again, where Hoodlum's backed off. Hoodlum's backed off from the rest of this pack, despite still being the fastest driver right now when it comes to times. And here we go. We got a pretty another decently sized pack here. Matthew Hill on the outside, side by side, with the aforementioned 41 of Philip Torres, the other NS Racing driver. Also, Daniel Voiles is in this mix. Random J, founder group to work with. Braden Crowder is also up here. Alex Mullen and Patrick Miller. Jason Albert's founder drafting partner looks like it's going to be Caleb Rose in the 59 as of right now, while Burnett and Haas are still all by themselves. And right now, because of that, have posted some of the slowest times in the field. Now, similar to last time, Lipsy is also towards the bottom of the total times thus far. So he also experienced a lot of issues at Pocono as well. He was towards the bottom. He was towards the bottom of times of that preseason Thunder session as well. So there could be some speed issues with that number 9 car that they definitely just sort out for our next preseason Thunder in just a few days in Atlanta, and also of course for the actual PSL season. New fastest time. That's the 19 of Kyler Sustry, who is, I believe, in this pack. There he is. Calvin Baker also right behind him when it comes to fast times and on the track. As his bottom line is really forming. Well, Wilson and Spurley are going to be left out to dry on the outside. Dan Mattiello is going to be the leader of this pack there in the 17. As here's Staple now looking to the inside, as well as Crown. Mattiello is going to move to the outside. We're 3 wide into turn number 3. Watch the 3 wide so far here today. Hopefully not going to be too aggressive with that. Of course, you do not want to wreck these cars before the opening race. Right? The opening race is inching closer and closer, and you do not want to wreck. And these drivers absolutely do not want to wreck these cars. It goes with me without saying that these drivers do not want to wreck these cars, since these will be the cars they're probably going to use. Calvin Baker, that time by, is the new fastest driver on the board with a time of 47.32. Joe T now second on the board. Oseshire follows to third. Ross McTrain also in this in this pack for fastest. Random J inside the top 5 now in 5th. Braden Carruthers 6th. Hoodlum 7th. Nick Sand the 48th. Daniel Voiles 9th as of right now. And Bubble Pop rounding off the rest of the top 10. Let's go on board with Kyler Sustrand, the 19, one of the fastest drivers as of right now. Good cam. Currently still third fastest on the board for the number 19 car. And we're going to see if... No, the 957 and final... If 957 are still all by themselves, although to be fair, Lipsy has been down pit road several times, trying to find something with that car. Well, Haas has been all by himself for this entire time. But Matthew Burnett has found a group. These group of drivers led by Mullen, Voiles, and Hill caught up to the 2 car. Ryan Wilson coming back on the track that time by. Let's go on board with someone else. Let's go on board with the 2. And Random J going 3 wide. You saw there just how strong the inside really is in these turns as Burnett goes way up behind the racetrack. They're almost in the wall. And of course, Burnett is another former Golf Summer Series winner at Talladega. Won this race in 2022. Well, not this race, but you know what I mean. He won the 2022 Geico 500 for the Golf Summer Series. So he does have experience winning at these super speedways, similar to Hoodlum and other drivers like Nick Sand. Baker's still so far the fastest. Joe T still second fastest. No one in his main group is higher than 5th, and that's the 53 of Random J. But this is so far probably the most proactive group when it comes to this session. Thus far, as this group, but this group is also doing a fair share of activity onto this track in this session thus far, despite having less cars. This group's also meanwhile this group led by the 18 and 99, 2 of our rookies, could actually catch up to this group, depending on how many. Well, I don't know if they're going to catch up, but they're in the picture of this particular group. And that's really the thing. You gotta have to, even though it's pretty scary to work in a group of super speedways, you kind of have to. Whoa, contact! That's Jack Haas trying to come down in front of Daniel Voiles. That almost caused an accident, but thankfully it did not. We're gonna have a replay of that after the session's over. That was about 18.5 minutes into this. A very scary instance there for Daniel Voiles and Jack Haas, and certainly the rest of this pack. And that's going to kill a lot of the momentum that this pack had, which is definitely a shame because there's a lot of fast cars in this group. And now that could potentially have been sabotaged by the 57 having a really late block on the 01. Regardless, Haas is going to join this group as Alex Mullen's now going to be the lead driver of this pack. But let's go back to some other packs. Kellen Baker still has the fastest time, but he's now coming out of pit road, trying to doing adjustments to his car. Other drivers also that were in pit road. That's the 29 Skylar Taylor. They're down pit road. And Mattiello all by himself. While Jordan Stout, Matthews, and Gutierrez are still in this 3-car group. And hasn't really seen to yield any results, as all of them are below the top 25 when it comes to speeds. Meanwhile, Keyshawn Richardson still in this 4-car group. He's currently 29th on the board. Madison Chase is also in here. She's also towards the bottom of speeds. So really, you gotta definitely. So if you really want to get fast speeds, this goes with me without saying, they need to be in a really big drafting group. Again, sounds scary, but working in a group really does provide a lot of data that can be used for both Daytona and Tennessee. And again, kind of gives drivers an idea of who's the best team and or driver to work with in these big packs. It looks like, whoa, Bradley almost did the exact same thing to Ryan Wilson there. We're going to have a replay of that as well. So that was about 19 and 16 minutes. I'm going to write that down so I won't forget. 16 minutes remaining. Okay. I'll write that down and not forget about that like last time. So 16 minutes remaining in this session. This session's gone by pretty fast. The other one felt like forever, but so far it looks like 21. These drivers have put up around laps in the lower 20s. Baker's only put up 18 laps. Most of these drivers have mostly been in the high teens, lower 20s when it comes to lap counts, which is pretty similar to how long Tennessee is going to be. Tennessee is going to be 24 laps, while Daytona is going to be double that, 48 laps. No, Daytona's not 48 laps, 42 laps. But still, much longer race than Tennessee. I think a healthy amount of laps to run. It's probably in between, like maybe in the late, upper 20s, lower 30s, just to kind of get a feel. And plus, Talladega is kind of like a combination, really. There's almost contact between Crown and Nixant there as Skylar's moving back up into the track there. But Talladega is definitely a really good in-between for both Daytona and Tennessee, because Talladega is a very similar... because Talladega, of course, shares a lot of similarities to Daytona. Similar overall shape, similar mileage, but it is big. But Tennessee is bigger and much wider than Daytona. But the unique thing about Tennessee compared to other super speedways, the front stretch is just a straight front stretch. No, not really any turns or whatnot. But the back stretch is curved. The back stretch is what the tri-oval is. And I think that definitely presents some unique challenges for these drivers when we head there in just a few short weeks. Strong run for Nixant there into turn number 3. He's going to force it 3 wide on the 97 and 45, as McTrain's going to lose a lot of ground there. Meanwhile, Hoodlum and Bubble down pit road, followed by the 79 Gutierrez. I think I saw the 53s down there as well. That's the 01. I almost said the 49, but the 01's down pit road. Miller, Sustry, Richardson. See if anyone else is coming out of pit road. No, it looks like that's basically everyone down pit road there, as this pack is still, as these drivers are still in a large pack here. Dan Mattiello forced up to the outside by Matthew Hill and Torres, as Torres, Albert, and Carruthers all moved down pit road there. 13 minutes remaining. I could see a lot of these bigger packs start to become smaller as you quickly approach the end of this of this preseason Thunder. Again, this went by rather quick compared to our last one, for sure. And just a further reminder, once again, RC is the last game I need for the PSL. The deadline, once again, for anything. If you're painting your own paint scheme or painting your own regular series scheme, if you're painting a firecracker scheme, you still have time. But If you're painting a regular PSL scheme, if you're interested in becoming a team owner, if you're interested of signing drivers, tonight is the last night to do it. I'm not going to extend it any further because I do plan to record the first race probably tonight, if not tomorrow. So we're really it's getting close. It's getting really close. PSL, our second PSL season is getting really, really close, and we do have a slogan thanks to this man here, the 31 of Roberto Crown. He suggested hashtag Summer of Speed. That's going to be the new slogan for the PSL this summer. We had a fan vote between 4 options. It was, I think, Paradise Rises. I mean, I can look at them. I can look at them right now. Paradise is calling Summer Zooming and Paradise Rises, but out of all of them, Summer of Speed was the winner. Appreciate everyone who voted for that. And I do hope to have an intro as well as a promo out before the opening, sometime before the opening race, and before I wait for Charlotte. Yeah, as I said, a lot of those massive packs we saw earlier, most of them were down pit road and just now coming out, or just now coming out. Albert Burnett now coming out, Random J McTrain, as this is really the only kind of quote-unquote pack we have. You know, it's just 3 drivers. Notice the tail of one another. That's Lipsy looking at the inside of Matthews there. And those two, the 49 and the 9, are the 2 slowest drivers when it comes to time. Mattiello is also not too far behind these 2 when it comes to time. Not too far ahead when it comes to times. I don't know if it's just that they kind of, like, Matthews has been, she's been really by herself. Well, she was with Richardson and Chase and Gutierrez the entire time. I don't know, Matthews just struggled to kind of find a pack. Throughout the session, the same can be said for Jose Angel as well. Brendan Beal also towards the bottom of times, the defending series champion, 31st. And if you remember, Beal was one of the faster drivers at Pocono our last session, where I believe he was second. Yeah, he was like second when it came to times. Look at some other drivers as more. Look at some other drivers as are now coming back onto the track. We could see some bigger packs forming here in the final 10 minutes here at Talladega. The 41 of Philip Torres, also 26. He's currently behind Johnny Hernandez. Jason Albert, 25th. Keyshawn Richardson, 23rd. He's been around that area besides the first few minutes. Throughout most of preseason Thunder today. There he is. Johnny Hernandez, as I previously mentioned a little bit, 22nd fastest. Jordan Forbes, of course, the winner of this, defending winner of the summer kickoff, albeit at a different track. He's currently 21st. Ryan Wilson, 20th. Skylar Taylor's 29th. Santavella is 18th. Number 18 of Bubble is 17th. Hoodwum currently in 12th. Nathan Stapleton in the 97, 7th fastest. Random J and Random J on up, as well as the rest of the top 5 is remain largely the same. With Baker still having the fastest time of 47.932. And so far, it's several tenths off Owen Miles, almost 6 tenths off of Owen Miles' time last year at this track. Albeit track conditions were a little bit different. There were less cars during that particular preseason Thunder. And it was also cloudy as well. Let's go on board for a few more. Let's go on board with some drivers here for the next 2 minutes. Let's go on board with the 45 of McTrain. about 7.5 minutes remaining here at Talladega. Calvin Baker's still the fastest driver when it comes to times. There he is there, the 2020 Golf Summer Series champion. The 8 of Joe T is now up second in the board. No, he's been in second in the board for a while, but Joe T is currently second on the board. Kyler Susstra, third fastest. Ross McTrain, fourth fastest, while Random J is the fifth fastest in fifth. But I just said that, whatever. He rounds off the rest of the top 5. That's what I meant to say. Surprised I haven't seen too many big packs form up once again. Most everyone running nose to tail single file. Except for this group here. We've just picked up Calvin Baker on the outside. Yes, these drivers just didn't really want to tear up their cars. Just really scared not to tear up their cars in these final 6 minutes here at Talladega. Now, of course, our final preseason Thunder, our third and final preseason Thunder of the 2024 PSL offseason or preseason, whatever, will be in Atlanta this Monday night at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. What was it, 10:30? Either 10 o'clock or 10:30. I believe it's, let me look. It is going to be at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday night, similar time to our Pocono test session last week. They'll be using the 2014 Atlanta track as opposed to the 2020, like the reconfigured 2022 version. But 2014 Atlanta tracks produced rather some decent amount of chaos during both our 2020 Golf Summer Series tests back then, as well as last year's preseason Thunder. So we could maybe see history repeat itself in just a few days. And Atlanta and I think a lot of people don't really realize just how close, as someone who's been to both tracks in real life, Talladega and Atlanta aren't really that far apart from one another. Like if they ever schedule like a Atlanta Talladega back to back, which I'm sure the teams would absolutely love in real life, wouldn't be too expensive. Like they're not that far from one another. And of course, the opening race for the Palm Summer League for real will be this Memorial Day, May 28th at the Tennessee Superspeedway at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, barring any delays, for the Pepsi Summer Kickoff. And as soon as I mentioned that these guys are in a pack, they go back single file. Basically, everyone's single file at this point. Again, I don't necessarily blame them. I mean, only 4 minutes left. This is probably going to be the primary cars for our opening race at Tennessee, and you don't really want to tear them up here at all. Some other races we're going to go to, some other races this year we're going to go to. We're going to have 6 PSL races this year as opposed to 4. The second race will be at Las Vegas on June 7th. That'll be on a Friday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Our third race will be on Father's Day, June 16th at Meadowlands, right near New York City. That'll be at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as opposed to our usual 8 o'clock because the Iowa Cup race will be that same night as well. And I do want to get this race in beforehand. Fourth race will be the Firecracker 400 on 4th of July itself, which will be on a Thursday this year. Firecracker League plans are still to be determined. I still got to finalize a few things, but I do hope to have Firecracker League news within the next few weeks. Our fifth race will be at Paris, July 22nd, the day after the Brickyard 400. They'll be around the same time as opening ceremonies for, I guess opening week, for the Paris Olympics. And we'll be racing at Paris, which is definitely fitting. Oh, didn't mean to go on board. And, of course, the finale for that'll be on, like I said, July 22nd, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, like the other races. And finally, the season finale will be at Minnesota for the second year in a row. For the T-Mobile Summer Finale, that'll be on August 11th. Hopefully I can get that final race and have to not delay it by a week. Let's go on board with a few more drivers. Let's go on board with, who do I want to go on board with? Baker. He's the fastest car now, why not? Okay. max RPMs for that 21. 197. Here, return 1, 2. I'm going to let this kind of display itself here. So we're going 193 onto the corners. Onto the straightaways here. Slows down a little bit through turns 3 and 4. 190, 189. But you pick up a lot of speed off turn number 4 and going into this tri-oval. Tri-oval, as mentioned, of course, bank 16.5 degrees, and you gain a lot of speed here. Look at this. 195, 196. 197 is going to hit 198 here. There it is. 198. Almost 199 there. You saw briefly. 199 there still. I mean, it goes without me saying just how fast these cars go at Talladega. And with the tri-oval in Tennessee being in the back stretch as opposed to the front stretch, that's going to make turns 3 and 4 really, really chaotic and wild at Tennessee, providing a lot of opportunity for these drivers to make up huge runs, especially late in the race. Running down to the final minute here in preseason Thunder at Talladega. Not much activity when it comes to speed changes so far, but Such Try in the 19 is up to 3rd if I can find him. Or was he 3rd before? Well, I think he was 3rd before, but he's still in 3rd in the 19. Random J now Random J up a spot. He's 4th in the 53. Braden Carruthers now inside the top 5 in 5th, as these guys are going 3 wide into turn number 3. Jordan Stout finally finding something in the 11 car, up to 6, currently 6 on the board. Lipsy in the 9 also finally finding something thanks to this main group, thanks to this small group here. He's currently 7th. McTrain 8th. Mullen 9th, and Staple running off the rest of the top 10. These guys are still 3 wide into turn number 1, but Random trying to back off. Lipsy coming down in front of him. But for today, it's going to be a day. But today, the main driver, but for today, God, I can't talk. Anyways, but for today, the fastest driver is the 2020 Summer Series champion of Kellen Baker. So congratulations to Baker and the entire 21 team for their fast times here today. He's probably going to be in his own team as per usual. He's the only Pontiac that's quote-unquote a free agent, but he's the only Pontiac on the market. He's probably going to be starting his own. So it appears he's going to restart he's going to restart Baker Racing back up once again. So kudos to the 21 team here today. Is that much time left? There's still some time left. So Baker got about 35 laps in that time by, and a lot of these guys looks like they're going to finish around the mid-30 range to upper 40s, which is a very good range of lap counts to do. Which is a very good number of laps to do in this session, in my opinion, because, as I mentioned, is right in between the lengths of both Daytona and Tennessee. Tennessee is, of course, a shorter race, while Daytona is going to be the longer event. But anyways, let's take a look at the fastest times here before I sign off for the day. I already broke down most of the top 10, but I'll do it again. Baker the fastest, of course, in the Pontiac. The 8 car of Joe T, 2nd fastest. Kyler Sustry 3rd. Random J 4th. Braden Carruthers 5th. Jordan Stout 11th. Lipsy 7th. McTrain 8th. Mullen 9th. And Stapleton running off the rest of the top 10. Roberto Crown's 11th fastest, followed by Matthew Hill, Patrick Miller, Hoodlum, Bradley Ream, Riley Spurley, Nick Sant, Daniel Voiles in the 01, Bubble in the 19 Bubble in 19th, while the 99 Alex Santavala, who was the fastest during our last preseason Thunder at Pocono, will round off the rest of the top 20 with a rather mediocre run of 48.361. 21st is Skylar Taylor, Ryan Wilson 22nd. Jordan Forbes, defending Crickoff winner, 23rd. Johnny Hernandez 24th. Keyshawn Richardson 25th. I say hold on, Anthony Hernandez. I gotta get used to that. Damn it. Keyshawn Richardson 25th. Brendan Beal 26th. Madison Chase 27th. Jason Albert 28th. Philip Torres 29th. If I didn't mistakenly say Torres and Torres and Voiles. Voiles is 18th. Torres is 29th. Okay. The 30th is the 2 of Matthew Burnett. 31st, Dylan Matthews. Caleb Rose 32nd. Jack Haas 33rd. Despite catching up to the rest of that pack, he only managed to get the 33rd fastest time. I do need to look at the replay from nearly coming down in front of Voiles. Dan Mattiello 34th fastest, and Jose Angel Gutierrez slowest time of them all, unfortunately, 48.568. But we're going to look at the replay. We're going to get 2 replays, starting with the 57 of Jack Haas around the 18 minutes to go mark. I gotta wrote these down. So yeah, right around here. So this was coming off turn number 4. Haas was significantly slower compared to his main group. Voiles was going 192, while Haas was going a mere 186. Yeah, just did not see I don't know. Let's look at that again. I don't know if Voiles just got a run and came up on the 57, or if Haas just came down. Let's look at it in slow motion. It's not slow motion. So again, off of 4, this pack behind the 57 is much, much faster than Haas. If I would Haas at this point, I would have just probably moved up to the outside most lane, right near the wall. But instead, he moves down. Looks like he does move down in front of Daniel Voiles, with the 2 making contact, sending the 57 right on that yellow line, as well as the 01. That could have been a very massive wreck that involved several, like a lot of big name drivers were in this. Random, Burnett, Carruthers, a lot of big name drivers were in this pack. And that could have been devastating to their teams if this would have been a wreck. Let's go on board with the 01 of Voiles. Oh my god. If that was Voiles there, he was lucky. Lucky when he went on the brakes immediately. Man, Voiles was lucky to be on the brakes as fast as he was there. Wild. Let's go on board with the 57 to see his point of view. But good job to Voiles for getting on the acting on the brakes really fast right there. Whoa, man. Very big close call there. And then we have another replay around 16 minutes in. I think that was, I believe the 06 of Madison Chase was the driver and subject. Was the driver that was